Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are back on iRacing once again, and in today's video, this is quite possibly my favorite car and track combo that I've experienced on iRacing so far, and that is the F4 at, even though it's from the UK, I should probably know how to pronounce this, but Alton Park or Quilton Park, I'm pretty sure it's Alton Park. Track that I've driven many times on other games in the past, and just this combination, it's the layout that doesn't have the chicanes, and you can see this is actually my first qualifying lap. Went out a bit wide, which meant it was invalidated, a bit of a shake of the head there, which means we only have one lap remaining in this qualifying, and since my rating has gone up to 2.5, we are racing against faster people. I think this is actually the top split that I was in when I was doing this one. And yeah, I absolutely love this car and track combination. It is just so relentlessly fast, and there is absolutely zero room for error. Although you have quite a lot of runoff, but since you're just traveling at such a speed, if you do make one mistake, then your car is just completely done. And this up here I was actually quite happy with. I did a bit of practice, did about 20 minutes or 30 minutes of practice before this, and apologies in advance if my voice sounds a bit different. I've been suffering a bit of a cold recently, so might not be shouting as usual, but we'll be showing pretty much the entire race here today. So as always, if you do enjoy the iRacing videos, please make sure you give the video a like, and please let me know what you would like to see next. I will be returning to F1 League Racing very soon, and I think everyone at the moment, not just myself, is taking a bit of a sabbatical when it comes to the official F1 game. Even some F1 eSport drivers I've been speaking to pretty much feel like they just have to play the game because they're in an F1 eSports team. So I really am hoping for big things for F1 23, but I will be making my return to F1 22 and just enjoying it as much as I can. But you can see here we did a 124.9, so that was actually within a tenth of my PB, and if you could get within a tenth of your PB, that isn't really too bad. But that was only enough for 5th place. You can see how close it was. So waiting for the lights, so we've got 4 lights here, and as they go out now, trying to get a good start. Luckily you don't need to really feed in the throttle for the starts with this car, and we managed to get a pretty good launch. Tyres are going to be cold for this first half a lap, so really important to just keep them really, well, not make any mistakes on this first lap, because it's very, very easy to understeer. So I'm just trying to protect my position as much as I possibly can. We actually get a really good run on this guy up ahead who's using the old Ferrari livery, as I've got my own livery on the car as well. But learning from recent races in F4, the racing in F4, although it is so fun, if you saw one of my recent videos, if you give anyone a gap to dive bomb, they seem to do it in this car. And I think it might just be because it's the first, well, you come out of the rookie class and you go into the D class, and that's the first open formula, and some people just don't want to keep paying for more cars and tracks, and they kind of really just stick with this. And that's why there's actually quite a lot of good people who are in class D who are really, really fast in this category. But the racing is very, very close, and yeah, this track here, it just, the speed is absolutely insane. So we're just trying to survive this first lap, and you can see this car's got out wide, but they're on the exit here, making a bit of contact and making a bit of contact again. And you can hear my engineer tell me that my wheels have been locked out of alignment. So please someone tell me down below, does that mean I've actually got damage, or I'm actually going slow? Because you'll see towards the end of this race, my pace was still really, really strong. So if I did have damage, it wasn't really affecting me too badly. But at this point, I did think it was going to be affecting me. So we park our car in the middle of the track just to avoid this guy trying to go down the inside. And we are up into 4th place, so we have actually made a position here. I think with that little incident, I think I could have maybe done a bit better to avoid that myself. Although at the time I was yeah, pretty annoyed that I received damage, because if you start in the midfield and you're not at right at the front in F4, then it is notoriously easy to get damage. And if you want to improve your safety rating, then this probably isn't the series for you. Same for F3 as well. Although the racing is great, just the level of driving is almost on a par with F1 22 open lobbies. But yeah, we're living to fight another day, and yeah, at this stage we're going in super deep into this last course. It's very easy to lock up. This guy's just run into the back of me. That's given me 4 instant points, and now we're under pressure going to turn 1. So as far as it is going to go for this move down the inside, and there's someone else down the inside as well. So we let him go, and then over the exit of this corner, another guy runs into the back of me as well, and it's just, that has completely ruined my safety rating for this race. So yeah, good luck trying to improve that. But yeah, on that occasion, I felt like I couldn't really do that much going through there. And you will see a bit of a replay towards the or after this race, where that guy behind me, the third guy, so I had 2 people overtaking me. I was just going to let them through because there's no real point trying to fight it around the outside there. But the other guy just kind of really took turn 1 like as if I wasn't there. And that's kind of the theme in F4. People just drive like you don't exist, and the collisions are turned off. And you know, the netcode on iRacing isn't always the best at times. And yeah, in these cars, it is certainly pretty sensitive. But right here now, despite having those incidents, we are still in, I think, 5th place or maybe 6th place. Yeah, I think it's 6th place in this race. So I'm desperately trying to get back within the tow, because it always seems like I have, well, the pace of the race is definitely much stronger than qualifying. And that seems to be quite a big thing as well. Like, the pace in the race from everyone seems to be stronger than it is in qualifying. So maybe if someone down below could tell me. And as always, please keep giving me the advice. It really has transformed my experience of this game. But I do feel that I have improved actually quite significantly, although I haven't been able to drive as much as I would like to since I've been away and doing other things. I think sometimes you don't always need to be playing every day to make those improvements, and I've noticed in this car you just really need to hammer down the throttle as soon as possible and really try and keep up that minimum speed. But you can see we're trying to get back within the slipstream zone of these guys up ahead, and just because they're battling, if you battle each other in these cars, it really does drastically slow you down. And this guy in the red car in the Ferrari is defending like Michael Schumacher. He doesn't want to give up an absolute inch whatsoever. And I was looking at the standings on the bottom right, and we were actually starting to close in on the guy in P3. So sometimes you definitely want to be working together, but as I said, in this formula, if there's a gap, people will certainly be going for it, as he's taking a massively wide line coming off the exit of turn 1. People don't really seem to care about their safety rating in this formula, but we are back where you want to be. We're in the slipstream zone, which is typically about a second or 1.1 seconds. We have a pretty good big gap behind us, so no real pressure from behind, and we can just solely focus on the task at hand. But really the mentality for me now is just to not get any more incidents, because I think at this point I had about 12 or 13 incident points, and if you get 17 you actually get disqualified from the race, and that's certainly something you don't want to do. But this guy is just defending super hard, but that is really playing into my hands. And yeah, we're really just gonna take our time. As you can see, a guy up ahead who's a little bit further down the field saying stop fighting, we can catch them. I think you're wasting your time, mate, because people in F4 and F3 very rarely do that. Maybe yeah, in the higher formulas, but the thing is, as I said, this is one of the first open wheelers you unlock, and it's a D-class car. Some people just don't want to progress from that. And yeah, I think when you get to the higher formulas like license C and B and A, and you unlock even more cars and you're in that top split, people will work together a bit smarter because they want to try and increase their iRating and also their safety rating as well if they're not already in the top license. But right here now, we're just going to try and chill behind these drivers, because in F4 and F3, one thing I have learned is it is not over until the checkered flag, because people will be making some desperate moves coming towards the end of this race. But you can see, if you looked on the bottom right hand side, we are actually starting to very slowly close in on the leaders. So it looks like they are starting to battle. The guy in P3 has kind of lost the slipstream from the leaders, and slipstream in this car is extremely powerful, and it's really, really hard to break away from someone. So it's really crucial that you try and stick within that slipstream zone of the cars up ahead. You can see the gap behind is actually increasing as well, so we don't really need to focus on anything too much there. No pressure from behind, and yeah, still we're just going to try and just sit behind, not get too close where cause him to defend or anything like that, but close enough where we can maybe seize an opportunity, because we are coming towards the end of this race. We've got maybe 4 or 5 laps of this race still to go. And yeah, going through this corner was having a bit of a struggle here, because again, if you just make one mistake around this circuit, it is absolutely ruthless. If you dip a wheel on the grass, like this corner is well, it is a flat out corner, but it's not particularly easy to do, and it is just so fast. Like the last corner, or that corner just there, are definitely the slowest corners, but this one coming up, this corner, if they actually do this in real life, must be absolutely terrifying, because it's just, if you make one mistake here and you're going off into that tyre barrier at 100 miles an hour or more, or well over 100 miles an hour, yeah, that isn't going to be a nice thing. But you can see the guy in P3 is coming back into this pack here, so I'm not quite sure what's happened, unless he's got damaged or he's just making mistakes or something like that. But yeah, that's definitely something he doesn't want. You can see the leaders are just up ahead as well, so we actually are catching the leaders quite quickly. See a bit of smoke coming around this last corner, and we are definitely within that slipstream zone of the guy in P3 and even the leader. So yeah, always towards the end of an F4 race, even if you're a few seconds behind, as we saw at the start, if they start battling, then you're losing quite a lot of time per lap. So just really trying to keep it tight here. Now it's key to try and get as close as I can to the guy up ahead of me, because if anything happens there, I can really try and take advantage as much as I possibly can. You can see that dud, yeah, was really trying to spit me out here and really trying to get a good launch coming off this corner. But it was really, really nice to do that. And the Ferrari, Michael Schumacher up ahead of me, no doubt that he is going to go for a move as soon as he sees that opportunity. So coming down this straight, having a pretty much a triple slipstream coming off here and into this right-hander. Yeah, just being a bit cautious through here at this stage. I can't afford to even get an off track. That will affect my instant points, because otherwise I'm going to be losing even more safety rating. You can see this guy in P3 is defending quite hard. So could we try and get a podium here? That really is the goal. And the red car is now going on the inside. Is the guy in front of me going to try and follow him through at the same time? Really important to get a good exit. And inside, the guy up ahead of me is going to try and get past him at the same time, and going side by side into turn 1 is not always the easiest thing to do. But what does he do? He tries to go around the outside, and yes, they actually just somehow managed to make it through the corner. Was thinking about going down the inside here, but again, I just can't really afford to be taking that risk at this stage. And yeah, losing a bit of time here, because he almost lost the car on the exit. Jeremy Sparing, if I've said that correctly, up ahead of me here. And they go into this one, just really focusing on getting a good run coming off this corner. That is really the main thing. I'm just turning it a bit too early. You can see that's really kind of killed our momentum here. The two leaders have kind of broken away from us, and you can see they are starting to have a bit of a squabble. So yeah, just making sure I leave enough of a gap between myself and these three, just in case if any of them have an instant, I have a bit of time to react. And yeah, just still taking that fairly cautiously, going a bit wide, See, the gap is now about 7 seconds behind us as well, so really no pressure there. And going through these 2 right-handers, I really do enjoy that. It's probably my 2 favourite corners of the track. And now coming through into this last corner, really trying to focus on get a good run, really trying to hammer down the throttle nice and early, and we get a very nice run. And you can see all this battling is costing me, or costing us, just a little bit of time. You can see it's squabbling around a little bit more. So the red car has got through. Now the car ahead of me is trying to get past this guy who was originally in P3. So he goes side by side into here and tries to go for a bit of a switchback on the exit, and he gets a very, very good run coming to his left-hander. So one of these drivers is going to have to concede here because he can't go flat out and then make a bit of contact. And yes, that is exactly what happens when you're in F4. 2 drivers don't want to concede, and yeah, you can see him typing up above. He wasn't particularly happy with that at all, but yeah, we're going to try and do the best we can, see if we can get back within the slipstream. So you can see taking a bit of a risk here, and you can see making up quite a bit of time going through this right-handers. The leaders are not even that far up ahead on the road, and coming through to here, just giving it absolutely everything we can. But I think we're going to have about 2 laps to go after this, and yeah, as much as I want this P3, it's just not worth the risk. And I'm quite surprised that the car ahead of me doesn't have a lot of damage as well. So please, again, tell me if I actually did receive any damage, because although it says my wheels are out of line, I don't know if that's even costing me any lap time or anything at all, because no, I've done a 24.7 during the race, which is I think like the 2nd or 3rd fastest lap, matching the leaders. And yeah, the car felt pretty good to me. But as you can see, moving into this last lap, yeah, didn't really want to take the risk. The leaders were just a little bit out of touch, and it's a shame we had those incidents at the start. Really kind of self-inflicted by me going wide for this last corner. Felt like we could have maybe been in the run, but slowly but surely the pace is starting to come and starting to feel much, much more comfortable on this game. I really hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for the support on the videos, and I'll be catching you very, very soon. Peace.